Ladies and gentlemen, if you Google cheese grater right now, guess what comes up? A lot of the products from Apple's latest Keynote talk, which I'm going to break down for you. I've highlighted some of the best moments that we're going to scan through for all you Apple and passive income dividend investors alike. So let's jump right into this. Welcome back, passive income investors. That's right, if you're paying attention to the news, everything is taking the markets down, even though there's been great news. I was just doing a video on Tesla and how they've been selling out in China, and things have been great. Apple just came out with their Keynote talk, and I want to show you some of the highlights and the most interesting things about the products Apple's bringing out, which I think if you're a shareholder in this company, I was trying to make a joke where I was going to look up cheese grater and compare it to the Apple, and it looks like the memes have already taken off as we got this hilarious photo in this video of the cords running into a cheese grater. But this isn't anything to laugh at, guys. This is something that's going to be pretty incredible. So let's just get into this. I'm going to full screen this. Got to max the volume so you guys can hear this crystal clear. Crystal clear. Let's turn that up nice and loud. And we're going to start with the basic specs that blew my mind. So we got a few products coming out, guys, but we definitely want to start with this one here. This is where good place to start. Listen to this.
And it has up to 28 cores. And to get every last ounce of performance out of this processor, we're giving it over 300 watts of power and a massive heatsink for cooling. So this means it can run fully unconstrained all the time. Now we also have an extremely high performance memory architecture. 6 channels of super fast ECC memory in 12 DIMM slots enable an incredible 1.5 terabytes of system memory.
Now, I don't want to bore you here too much with the technicals, because some of these are probably way above your head. But to put this in perspective, I don't think people understand the severity of what he just said. 1.5 terabytes of memory. To put it in perspective, my computer already costs like $6,000, and I only have 32 gigs of RAM, guys, of installed memory. And just take a look. I got a 9.5 8-core processor. My specs can't even come close to touching how insane the new Mac computer is. It's honestly staggering. Like just the 1 point, they've honestly done themselves out of the water. I don't even know how to begin to explain the insanity, which makes me wonder, what are they charging for this? Which I also highlighted in here, so I'm going to skip to that point. Right here, guys, I want you to listen to this part.
The world's most powerful graphics card. Now the new Mac Pro is going to start with an 8-core Xeon processor, 32 gigabytes of memory, Radeon Pro 580X, and a 256 gigabyte SSD. Now, if you look at other systems configured with comparable components, you'll see that they cost around $8,000. The new Mac Pro will start at $59.99.
Like the Mac Pro, the design is stunning, and every element is built for pros.
We have another cheese grater, which is this crazy thing we're going to break down. But let's just talk about the price really quick, guys. So you can see that the base model of this Mac, this basically computer that they're finally doing in with here, which is super awesome, is so just for the price, guys, it's actually pretty incredible, because the starting going rate for just like the dead basic specs are almost what I have right here. So you're going to be getting 8-core processor, pretty much the same thing that I have, but a much better, more newer version of one, of course. And you're also going to be getting the RAM roughly around the same amount, starting at roughly the same price as what my computer already costs. But the difference is that computer, the upgrades, because again, you can upgrade to 1.5 terabytes of RAM, which again, if you guys don't understand any of this, I'm not going to go on about it forever here, but I just want to understand the severity of how intense that computer is and what you're capable of doing with it. So I mean, it's one of those things where if you buy it, it's probably going to last you a long time, because you're just gonna be able to continue to add parts to it. Now, there's a few other things that I want to get into, but let's just really quick talking about this ridiculous display here, which I'm going to skip through because I just want to show you how insane this new monitor is they're bringing out as well.
The industry that delivers every feature on a pro's wish list and more.
The Pro Display XDR will be $49.99 for the display itself. And the Nano Texture version will be $59.99. We are bringing dark mode to iOS. I'd love to.
There's 1,000,000 to 1, and I don't know if you could caught that in there when the signs were up on the back there, but it's 1,000,000 to 1 contrast 6K monitor, by the way. 6K monitor. It's expensive. Not 6K price, even though that's what it costs, but 6K just in graphics is mind-boggling. We haven't even gotten used to 4K yet, people. I'm still on plasma here. Plasma. But the next most interesting thing is this guy goes on for a little while. I'm not going to get into this segment because it's not that interesting. They just go on about the iPhone display. I'll show you one little piece of this as well if you'd like to see. That they're just changing. You get an option of a dark display now. It's nothing crazy.
Start with news. Check it out with a gorgeous, dark appearance. So nice. And your calendar, your daily events have never looked so awesome on this really beautiful palette. And
so there's nothing crazy about what they're doing with the iPhone. It's just the next iOS update that's coming out. They're going to give you like this dark mode version where they've kind of they've made everything so it would obviously dark mode. You can kind of get the gist of it, but nothing really crazy new. Obviously, we got the emojis that are coming out and all of that stupid stuff in between that a lot of people are kind of shocked about the emojis, but Apple kind of has their own emojis. But the next most interesting thing that they talk about in here, guys, is the fact that you can sign in with Apple now, which if I can get this over here, they're really playing the card up about user protection and not selling user data, and they're really playing it up hard on the new product and iOS releases. But just listen to this.
Sign in with Apple is the fast, easy way to sign in without all the tracking. A simple API allows a developer to put a sign in with Apple button right in their app. You just tap it, and you're authenticated with Face ID on your device, logged in with a new account without revealing any new personal information. Now, some apps may want your name and maybe even an email to send you information when you're outside the app. Now, we do allow them to request this information, but check this out. You can choose to share your actual email address, or you can choose to hide it. And when you do, we'll create a unique random address that forwards to your real address.
That's probably the most interesting thing too now is that they're really trying to screw over people that are trying to get your information. Like they're really playing and leaning into that aspect of things, which I think is really interesting as well. But the last two things I really want to touch base on that I think are like mind-blowingly changing for Apple, and I unfortunately didn't timestamp this, so trying to find it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Aside from the emojis, the iWatch is going to come out as like its own thing now, where you're going to be able to basically use apps. Maybe I'll show you a little piece of that. That's not what I want to show you right now, but maybe I'll just skip to that because I'm not sure where that last little segment is. But they're essentially going to allow iWatch to do apps. It's going to be pretty much separate from the phone. You won't have to sync them together anymore. It's going to be like its own phone almost, which...
You can go with just your watch, and you can stream great content like podcasts, music, live sports games. So with new developer tools and a new native UI framework coming this year, we're enabling a whole new generation of apps for Watch. Now, to make it even easier for you to discover these apps, we're excited to bring the App Store to Apple Watch.
So they're trying to make like the iWatch independent, which is something that I'm surprised it took them this long to do, but it's incredible that the leaps and bounds that Apple's making on these new product releases are absolutely staggering. But this is a beautiful start, in my opinion, right here for this, because I always wanted, like when I got the idea of the iWatch, I always thought it was going to be like its own thing, and I hated the fact that you had to sync it to your phone. My whole point was I want to leave my phone. I want to be able to leave my phone at home, or if I'm going out or exercising, I don't want to have to bring it with me. Like I don't have to worry about it all the time. And now iWatch has pretty much allowed you to do that. You can just talk through your watch, pretty much use your watch as the phone, which is quite incredible. But the last thing and the most important thing that I want to touch base on is the fact that if I can find it in here for the first time ever, guys, I can't believe it's taken Apple 20 years, but you can finally use a USB. Look at this. People are applauding. The USB drive. Oh, no. Go back. You guys got to hear that.
You can now plug in a thumb drive.
Oh my God, you can finally plug in a thumb drive, guys. It's something we've all been desperately waiting for, and it was like the biggest complaint with Apple products since the beginning of time, and now you can finally plug in a bloody thumb drive. Things are changing, my investor friends, and I want to know what you think in the comments section below. As an Apple shareholder, I got about $15,000 sitting in this stock, and it'd be nice to see it come back, but this might be the news that can uptick it today. Markets don't open. They should open by the time I post this video, so it'll be fun to see how this news has affected Apple, considering it's the #1 on trending, and it was only just posted last night. And I hope you guys enjoyed this quick breakdown. So stay cool, stay awesome, guys. We're gonna look forward to chatting to you real soon.